Ain't seen you guys in a minute. How you guys doing? Oh, no responders, just giggles.
Good, how are you?
How you doing? Good.
How are you?
Got it. Well, I got a few things I want to start with before, and I'm gonna just read it off. First and foremost, I want to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I would say for dying for my sins, allowing me to have everlasting life. None of what I have or done is because of me, but because of what I have been blessed with. I've been blessed when I didn't deserve it. He is the reason for this season. In high school, I got Proverbs 3:16 tattooed on my arm. Commit your actions to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. I have come to understand what that means and what that looks like as I got older. I put myself out there to grow in my spirit and in my mind. I went to therapy last season for sexual addiction. That was the hardest thing for me to open up to my therapist about, as that is something that nobody knew about. As I'm shining on the field on Sundays, I'm battling myself to grow throughout the week. And in that growth, God blessed me with the best season of my life. So I know that God is with me, and He deserves all the honor and glory for where I am today. I want to thank my family for pushing me since I was a little boy to be the best man and the best player I can be. My parents sacrificed more than a lot to make sure I had everything I needed. My dad always taught me about how powerful the mind is. He taught me self motivation. He taught me how to get my mind right to perform, and I've done that since a little boy. Um, I'm sorry. I still believe that my opponents don't think I'm good enough, so I will show them when that time comes, as that's what I've always done since I've came into the league. My mom showed me what strong faith looks like. Even when I didn't want to hear it, she tells me what the godly thing to do or to say is. She has been a big influencer on my relationship with God. My brother, I can't say enough about him that will do any justice, but I just want to say, brother, we did it. You did it. When you didn't make it to the league after you devoted your life to the game, it hurt me. But you grew something in me that I didn't know was growing, and that was thirst for greatness. You have been everything I needed in my life as a brother, a trainer, and a friend. We laugh all day, but when it's time to work, damn it, we work. We are built off work and more work. You pushed me to train in over 100 degrees since I was in middle school. You pushed me to limits I didn't know I had, but that's what you did to yourself. You gave me that same devotion. So I want to thank you publicly. To my woman, I want to say thank you for loving me through the light, through the darkness. Thank you for being my biggest fan and my toughest critic. You hype me up and you keep me humble all at the same time. You've pushed me to grow to new limits. So I want to thank you. I want to thank my support circle, friends that have became family through tough times and good ones. You guys always supported me and helped me achieve my dreams. The city of Fresno, I want to thank you. So many people contributed to the success that I have now, from taking me to workouts, to and from practices, games, events, etc. So I want to say thank you for loving me. And the ones looking down on me, I hope that you are proud in this moment. I want to say thank you to Utah and Salt Lake City for taking me as a young kid out of Fresno and helping me achieve my dreams and playing in the NFL. The coaches and players helped mold me into who I am today, so I'm very thankful for my time there. I want to thank the McCaskey family, Ryan Pose in the front office, and coaches for giving me an opportunity to play at this magnitude and allow me to stay here in the city of Chicago and play for such a prestigious organization. This organization believed in me from day one and has continued to show that belief in me. I want to thank the trainers, strength staff, nutritionists, cafeteria staff, team med, and the equipment team for all helping me perform at my best on Sundays. I want to thank the city for backing me since I came to the Shy. You guys are a tough crowd at times, but you love your Bears and you want us to be the best that we can be, and I love and respect you guys for that. I'm looking to bring more wins and championships to the city while I'm here. To my teammates, I want to say thank you for loving me and letting my light shine, for being good-hearted people and having a thirst to win. And trust me, it's coming soon. Now open for questions.
Jaylon, this is obviously a life-changing moment for you in a lot of different ways. When you finally got the deal accepted last week, what were your emotions, just knowing all that went into that?
For my emotions, it's hard to put I feel like maybe a name or a label on an emotion you never felt before. And I think just for me, it's something that I've always imagined. Of course, I always talked about, always dreamed about, worked towards. So I think it's something that I was probably trying to anticipate feeling, but I couldn't really put too much to it, and it wasn't an easy process. So just for me, just having the ups and downs of emotions, going through different phases of the contract. But at the end of the day, when you sign and you make it official, you just feel a sense of relief. You feel a sense of breakthrough, not only with the contract with the Bears, but in life.
What was the first thing you did to celebrate?
And do anything. Nah.
Jaylon, when they tagged you on Tuesday,
Mhm.
did you think in that moment, okay, we're close to a deal, or what was your reaction when the tag went in?
So are you asking me for if we were
They
close
tagged
to
you on
or if
Tuesday.
it was a reaction?
Did you think you were close to an extension when they tagged you on Tuesday?
Yeah, I knew we were close before the tag.
Before the tag?
Yeah.
Ryan Poles has said that, making you a priority, getting this done was to show a sign of respect to you for the work that you've put in. Did you feel that throughout this process?
Didn't make me a priority. Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I think it was just all about timing. I mean, of course, we were going through some things and trying to work through it in the middle of the season, and then after that, it just turned into focusing on ball. So I mean, once season ended, kind of let some things settle, and then just starting negotiations up again. So I mean, I think just trying to just knock it out in a timely fashion is something that we knew was going to come. So I mean, just continue to stay to the process, stick to the process. I mean, we communicated during season, throughout the off season. So I mean, it was pretty smooth. I felt like as timing goes.
The way this season ended, the way the defense was playing, what does it mean to just know you're a big part of what they're building here?
I mean, it means a lot. I feel like I've been through a few different regimes, a few different roster changes and things like that. So I mean, just to continue to have this level playing at a high, I mean, this defense playing at a high level, I think that's the biggest thing I take pride in. Just coming in, being a contributor, being a leader, being a dog on the field and leading that defense to being successful and at the end of the day just playing at a high level. So I mean, just for us, we got to continue to raise the bar, raise the standard. And I know we left a lot of things out there last year that I know we want back this year. So just looking forward to working this season, getting back with the guys in the off season, and just continuing to win and get better.
How difficult was it mentally for you during the football season not to think about the contract situation and just focus on the football aspect?
Not hard at all. I mean, my biggest thing was the ball. I mean, you guys know my biggest things were all pro and Pro Bowl, and I know you got to put high level film out there. So I mean, just for me, sticking to who I am, and I know the player I am. I know the dog that I am, and I know I can go out there and play the game at a high level. And I feel like I've been doing that for my years in the league. So I think for me, it wasn't anything different or new that I feel like I had to do, but just go out there and just give all I had and continue to lock guys down like I always do.
Jaylon, how important was it for you to have opportunity to get back to the table before you turn 30?
Big, big. Definitely want as many bites at the apple as I can get.
Jaylon, now that you're paid like one of the highest corners in the league, do you feel any pressure to live up to your contract, or do you even think about things like that?
Nah, they was gonna see me regardless. It don't. The contract don't change. I mean, contract I guess change to some people, but I'm not one of those. I'm not moved by money or oh yeah. Well now I just am this certain guy. Like no, to me I've been that guy before the contract, before the one of the highest paid. But I mean, for me, I still got a lot to prove to myself. And I mean, just goals continue to be set, and you set new ones. I mean, the money doesn't stop the hunger that I got.
So that
Jaylon,
point,
you very
It
clearly,
sounds like from it was a very emotional journey from your opening remarks here. How important was it to have this circle of people here that's sitting here with us today?
Oh, very important. I mean, I feel like I wouldn't, not even I feel, I know I wouldn't be here without the people that I have with me now. So I think just bringing them along to not just see it from Twitter or see it from social media or pictures, but to actually be here and live in the moment with me was something that was very big to me.
Jaylon, you very clearly bet on yourself last year. As it turned out, what was the difference between the Bears' offer at like the trade deadline last year and what you ended up getting? How big of a win was it?
Pretty big.
Can you put it into numbers to give us a little perspective on how much, on how big the win was?
Pretty big. That's about it.
You feel like you want, I mean,
Nah, I know. No, I mean, yeah, nah, I mean, like you guys know, the value went up. So, I mean, we just leave it at that.
You talked about your thirst for greatness and
Yeah.
trying to keep that strong.
Mhm.
Setting new goals. How do you continue to keep yourself driven in the way you've always been driven to get to this point to keep going?
I don't know if you heard my opening speech or not, but I mean, my dad always he talking about self motivation. So I mean, things change. I mean, I walk on the field. I mean, every time. I mean, I used to think it was funny as a kid, but my dad used to go out and I used to watch him play like flag football. And he used to police Olympics type things, and he would just be talking to himself, and he'd be like, "That dude over there think I'm soft, like he think I'm weak." And I'm like, "Dad, what the hell are you talking about?" And I used to ask him, my dad, "Why are you saying that? Like, did he really say that?" He was like, I believe he did, but like no, y'all laughing, but I mean the mind is powerful. So it's like anytime I go out there and I line up against a receiver, I line up against somebody, I really feel and believe that he don't think I'm good enough. So I think for me when I go out there, I'm gonna punish you because I know I think I know what you're thinking. So I mean, just for me, that's kind of like the mental warfare that you gotta have to stay motivated. And I feel like even now, it's like people gonna see me and think they gonna earn a check off my name. So I mean, for me, it's like nah, that's never it. I feel like people still don't think I'm good enough. And I mean, the way I see it, even the coaching staff, they still gotta do a job. They gotta replace me, and I'll be damned. So I mean, for me, I still got a lot to prove to myself, to any and everybody. So I mean, just it's not hard for me to stay motivated. I can find motivation in a lot of things.
Jaylon, you mentioned finding new goals, finding new motivation. Now that you've got the big contract, you got All Pro,
Yeah.
got Pro Bowl. What are those next goals? What's the next level that you want to take it to?
So I got to do it again. Some people think it's luck. So I mean, I got to do it 3 years in a row. I got to do it 2 years in a row. So I mean, I know what comes with that. And I mean too, I feel like for me, I don't. I want to be able to have a yellow jacket. I want to be the best 33 to wear the jersey. So I mean, just for me, I have those type of goals and aspirations, and I know with things like that, to get a yellow jacket, you got to be consistently great. And I think for me, that's my goal, is to consistently be great, to have years like I've had for back to back to back to back seasons. So I mean, just for me, I think consistent greatness is my goal from a broad perspective. But just as individual goals, I feel like that's something I'm gonna have to reset going into the season.
Jalen,
When you look back at what you were able to accomplish this last season, what on the field, what were you most proud of?
What was I most proud of? What was I most proud of? Individually?
Yeah.
Ooh. What was I most proud of? That's tough. Honestly, I would just say just the tight coverage, the sticky coverage. Just doing it week in, week out. I mean, thinking of back at it, I don't think there was ever anybody open in the game. So I mean, I feel like stuff like that is something I take pride in, just being sticky in coverage. And also just making plays in the backfield as well. I feel like even on screens, being aggressive, tackling receivers in the backfield. I think that was something big that I didn't put on film too much. But I feel like just having that aggressive balance of sticky coverage and being physical in the run game as well.
What's the biggest challenge for you? Flus told us at the combine that you rising to the challenge of being a ball guy and getting the interceptions. That was another box for you to check. What do you think will be next as you go into year 5?
Doubling it, doing it again.
8 interceptions.
I mean, just doing it again. I mean, I feel like I can't even say a specific number, but just doing it again. I feel like I said, I feel like people think it's luck doing it one time. So I mean, I guess the challenge for me is to do it again, to do it better. And I feel like I should have had 6, 7 interceptions realistically. So I think for me, just kind of not missing opportunities.
Jalen, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
What do you think of Kevin Byard, who they just brought in to play center?
I think he's a dog. He's been playing the game at a high level for a long time. So I mean, definitely glad to have him.
How do you see them building this defense in free agency in this offseason? Have they shared their goals for what they want it to be?
I barely got here in the off season, so I mean, I can't say what their goals are. I know we got dogs at all levels. So I mean, I think just being in with the departure of Eddie, I think kind of put the glue back together in the secondary that we needed. Linebackers, I feel like are stacked between TJ, Tremaine, Jack. I mean, we got some depth at backer. I know we got some dogs up front. So I mean, just continue to build depth. I would assume, but I mean, I can't just say they told me their plans.
Jalen, you're one of a few current Bears who have said, been in favor of Justin Fields staying as a quarterback. If it turns out that he isn't and that the Bears go a different direction and draft a quarterback, do you think that'll be an issue in the locker room? Will that be anything that the Bears, Eberflus, Foles have to overcome and be wary of if they go with another quarterback?
Be wary of. I mean, I can't just say that. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, we know the business that we're in. So I feel like it wouldn't be mature of us as a locker room not to rally together in spite of having Justin leave. I know what it would do to keep him here. I know how we would feel with him here. But I mean, I feel like just at the end of the day, we'll all have our opinions, our emotions. But as far as the locker room staying together, I think we have the right guys in the locker room to keep everything together, to keep us together. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to win ball games. So I don't think it's about necessarily our feelings or, oh, well, you did this. I mean, we all here to win games. So whoever that Poles brings in, whoever the staff brings in to help us win games, that's what we're going to rock with.
Whenever, like, contracts get signed, we see the years, we see the big number, but then when you look further into the details, you look at the guarantees. How much of that, knowing where you stand now at your position with the guaranteed money, was
Where do I stand?
kind of your second behind? I think Denzel Ward has the highest guarantees, but you're right there. Like, how important was that for you in having your contract structured that way?
Really big. And again, I feel like for me, it's one of those things where I get the guaranteed money and I get another bite at the apple and I get to do it again. So I think for me, that's the biggest thing, just to make as much money as fast as I can and then get back to the apple and do it again and then hopefully do it again.
Have you
Jaylon,
thought about what it means to have generational wealth? Like, how do you process that?
How do you process it? I mean, it's hard now because I mean, it hasn't hit my account yet. Maybe I'll have an answer for you in a little bit when it hits my account. I kind of think about it, but I mean, even then, it's gonna hit my account a few times. So, I'll have to figure that out when that time comes. But definitely a lot of pre-planning, a lot of preparing myself, and I mean, even for me, I feel like it's been a process. I mean, I'll tell people all the time when they ask me, "Oh, like, how does it feel?" It's like to me, I've had it. I just been waiting to collect it. So I mean, just for me now, just kind of processing what it is to actually now collect. I think it'll be special because I've been planning for this since I was a little boy.
Jalen, in your opening statement, you mentioned you saw a therapist last season.
Yeah.
Why was it so important, I guess, for you to share it right now? Does that kind of take a little bit of weight off your shoulders?
Yeah, a little bit. I think for me though, it's bigger than me. I want to say for one, it's because I know I'm not the only one going through it. For one, two, it's okay to go through stuff. It's okay not to be perfect. I feel like people put us literally on this pedestal to get up here and talk and oh well, guys are this, guys are that. It's like man, we human too. We go through things. Everybody goes through things, but I feel like people feel like you got to put a mask on, you got to cover it up. It's like nah, like it's okay to go through things. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I feel like even through my journey with God, it's like his light shines when you're in the dark. But it's like when you're trying to be on the pedestal and you're trying to take all the glory and you're trying to pretend to be something that in a sense, you're not. Then I feel like that's when you take away who God really is. And I feel like you gotta go low to really let God's work shine. And really, that's when His miracles are done. That's when His work is done. So I mean, for me to get up here and share it, I want people to get up and really share and get on, in a sense, get on their knees, be at God's feet to let Him really shine in their life and help them in many ways that He's helped me.
How much did it help you during the season, like as you were going through that?
It was good. 'Cause I mean, honestly, that was harder than anything. Everybody talking about playing football games. That's easy. So I mean, just going out. I mean, just going to see my therapist on the off day. It's like, damn, that's when I'm uncomfortable. But I mean, just throughout the week, just preparing myself like mentally. I feel like it's. I mean, people talking about contracts, talking about all that. I mean, wasn't worried about that. I was worried about trying to get myself right. Cause I mean, for me, it's bigger than the contracts. I mean, me being who I need to be as a man, who I need to be as a father, as a partner, as a future husband. I mean, that's more important. That's something that lasts way longer than this podium. That lasts way longer than this platform. So I mean, just for me, looking myself in the mirror, knowing who I want to be, I think that was more important than just contracts, 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 football, football, football. It's like man, football is the I tell people all the time, football is the easiest thing for me to do. I
Jalen,
can
how much was that episode a danger to yourself, your family, your
say again.
career? How much was that episode?
What episode?
Therapy, going through your personal trial and going through therapy. How much was that a danger to like your family, your career?
A danger?
Or a threat? I mean, how much did it affect you? You know, on the field, off the field, everything.
If I wouldn't have told you that, you wouldn't have never knew. So I mean, it didn't affect me really at all. If anything, it boosted me up into being who I needed to be. And like I said, in that place of vulnerability, I had breakthrough. I had breakthrough in myself. I had breakthrough on the football field. So I mean, it definitely, I wouldn't say affected me. If anything, it boosted me into be who I know I am.
You've been the leader on this team for a while. With the contract, but also the departure of Bojack, is there any more of an added emphasis on you and your leadership, especially on the back end?
Oh yeah, I'm the longest tenure secondary and the guy in the secondary now. So I mean, it's crazy because I texted Bojack when we were talking about the contract stuff, and I was like, it's crazy to see like, or for him to see how I came in as a rookie, my second, like just like throughout my career, throughout my journey, just building closer with him, and now having him gone, it's like, dang, like this is what we've been talking about since I came in the league. Because when I came in, he had just signed his contract. So I mean, just going through life, going through the grind, the process. I mean, it's been some tough years for us these last 4 years. So I know just growing closer with him, I know that was definitely a big loss for me. But I mean, it's something that we talked about. But I think now definitely guys looking to me because I mean, at first it was all right, little Bojo, kind of tell us what you think, but now it's gonna be all looking at me and okay, Jaylon, what do you see? How do you see it? So I mean, I think just stepping into that will be something different this year.
You talked to us in December about your desire to stay here in Park.
Yeah.
You wanted to see this team get to levels it hasn't been at since you arrived here. What does that mean to you now to kind of take that next step with the group and try to push them into championship contention and get your first playoff win and do the things that you haven't done as a team yet?
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like you got to stand for something. I feel like we've been losing way too much, and I feel like just as competitors, we want to win. And I know what we talk about in the locker room, what we talk about in our DB room, and I think just like I said, the thirst for win is there. Or the thirst for wins is there, and I think we just got to continue to execute. 'Cause I don't ever think it's a lack of effort, a lack of physicality or anything like that. I think it's just more so execution, but just going out there and I think emphasizing execution with guys. I think this offseason and through camp and through the season is going to be the biggest thing for us. So, I mean, I feel like we just got to continue to find ways to win. I feel like that's been my damn speech for 4 years now. So hopefully we can get it done, and that's what we're working to. I know guys, we calling each other, trying to figure out what we're going to train in the offseason together. So, I mean, it's definitely the bond, the chemistry, the want to is definitely there. So I'm hoping that we can turn that into wins on Sundays.
Did Eddie give you any advice on what life is like after you sign the big contract?
Nah, we ain't talk about that too much.
And who did you bring with you today, family members?
I got my pops and my stepmom. I got my uncle, best friend, my lady, my mom, my brother, my agent, and my other homeboy around here somewhere. I forget where he is.
Thank you, Jaylon. Congratulations.